Ladies and gentlemen, I am here with a foil bag of frozen durian. Miss Carrie knows of my acquired taste, or rather eccentric taste, for this very well-known Asian fruit known as durian, commonly found in Southeast Asia, very popular in Malaysia and Singapore. Not all that easy to find in good condition here in the United States, outside of the big cities like LA, San Francisco, or New York, where they have some of the more consistent and bigger, well-supplied Asian markets. This was found at the Oceanic Market here in Tampa, Florida. And Tampa, Florida is not known for consistent, reliable Asian goods or Asian groceries. So I was actually very surprised that she was able to find it here. She got it for me as a Valentine's Day gift. So very touched and looking forward to trying this out. So this came in this foil bag. Usually you would find them in a frozen, frozen in their original husk, or in a plastic container in the frozen section of these Asian markets. So I'm a little bit terrified and intrigued at the same time, since I've never seen it packaged like this in a foil bag. So let's get this open and see what's in it. There we go. It looks like it's in there's a separate bag on the inside. There's a inner paper wrap within the foil bag. And this heavy-duty paper bag obviously is thick enough to prevent the thorns from puncturing the foil bag. As those of you who have seen this fruit in real life would have known about the rather thorny husk. So it would appear that this durian came intact, fully intact, with the husk unmolested. I'm not sure what this rubber band is doing down here. But for those of you who have seen durian opened, particularly in street vendors and the stores in Singapore, and Malaysia, and Thailand, you would know that it actually requires a little bit of skill to open this well. You need a rather sharp blade to split the husk and carefully reveal the meat, the actual fruit inside. So now we're going to have to work on getting this open. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I had to bring the durian outside because Miss Carrie simply loathes the smell of durian. And I don't blame her. This is truly an acquired taste. So I'm going to attempt to open this. My confidence is not entirely there because traditionally, when we purchase durian in Singapore or Malaysia, the fruit vendor would normally open up the fruit for us and then shell the fruit pieces out, and then we would take it home, minus the husk. The meat is still a little bit frozen on the inside, actually. So I don't know if I should. So what I'm feeling here is still a bit icy. It's still a little bit frozen on the inside. So do I keep opening it, or do I let it thaw a little bit more? You can certainly see the fruit on the inside. See that? So I think what I might do is I'll let this thaw a little bit at room temperature before I do any more. I think this may be actually a little bit more difficult than it needs to be, since it's still a bit frozen. So I think if we let it thaw a little bit more, it might be a little bit easier. Okay. 5 hours later. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to keep continuing. We're going to continue, I should say. We're going to continue to open this durian. So it's been a few hours. So this fruit is still, there's still a lot of ice in here, but it has sufficiently thawed, and it's getting a little bit softer. So what we'll do is we'll open this up and then maybe shift the fruit into a container so it can continue to thaw before we actually eat it. So initial impression is that, so if you can see this, the color is not great. It's kind of pale. Doesn't always mean it's bad, just it looks kind of pale. So we'll let this thaw in a separate container maybe, and and then we'll actually give it a try at some point. So this is what the inside of the husk looks like once the fruit has been removed. So this is just one side of it. Now, so there's more in here. So I got a glass container involved just to be a little bit more sanitary. I'm going to continue to open up this other side of the durian. As you can begin to see, the whole fruit are separated into chambers, and that's just one chamber that has been unveiled. And now we're going to work through the other chambers. Hopefully I don't screw it up. So there's actually a little tiny bit of fruit here. I'm just butchering this. Nothing like the smooth operators back in Singapore in some of my previous videos. So I must say that the initial, I was able to scrape some meat off of these husks, and I could almost tell right away that this is definitely Mao Shan Wang, the gold standard for durian. Okay, we are now ready to actually taste this thing. So these are, again, all the durian fruit pieces after it's been shelled out of the very thorny husk. So let's give it a shot. These are best served at room temperature, by the way. So it's still a little bit cold, but they're soft now. They're softer now, and there's actually plenty of meat over the seed. As some of you may know, that there's actually a big old seed in here. This is pretty good. It's the right creamy texture. It is a taste that you would expect if you had prior experiences with Malaysian Mao Shan Wang Durian, commonly found in Southeast Asia. It's creamy, has the distinct pungent taste of durian. Most Western palate is repulsed by this. But for the Asian palate, especially those of us who grew up with durian in Southeast Asia, this is heavenly. I think Miss Carey purchased this at a much higher price than what we would pay in Singapore. Yeah, because it has to be frozen and shipped over to the West. But this is lovely. This is a heavenly, velvety taste for those of us who are into durian. Is it the best I've ever had? No. But we don't usually get this flavor in the US, outside of the big cities, outside of the large Asian grocery chains. This is fantastic, actually. I could eat this all day. Again, Miss Carey would not want to be near this. More for me. For those of you in Southeast Asia, you can get this obviously at a much lower price point. I think the last time I checked, we were floating between 15 to 20 Singapore dollars per kilogram. About a year ago, it was as low as 10 Singapore dollars per kilogram. I think it's back up to probably closer to 20 or maybe even over $20 by now. I'll find out next month when I go to Singapore. The fruit pieces come off of the seed pretty easily. Almost like a very well cooked pork ribs coming off of the bone. It's that sort of detachment. So, 2 thumbs up. This is quite fantastic. I would say that this is worth eating. Probably a little bit too expensive for consistent purchase here in the US, which makes the travel experience back to Southeast Asia to enjoy this all the more precious.